Hello, hello, hello. We are here today to talk about covers for the Star Wars Expanded Universe around the globe. And because the covers, surprisingly, between countries were not always the same. And there are some differences between these EU book covers where there's completely different art on the covers of many of the different EU novels, depending on the country that it was released in. So we're going to take a look at those covers and kind of share our thoughts and our reactions to these different covers from foreign countries, or at least foreign for those of us in the U.S. With that kind of introduction out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and let our panelists here get to introduce themselves. So the floor is yours. Whoever wants to go first.
I'll go first. I'm Slov. I blackmailed Brennan so I could be here. So yeah.
Indeed, I can confirm this is true.
Only good games here. I'm honored to be here and appreciate Quinlan Voss, Brennan, for inviting me on to talk about some different covers.
Grey Holm here. Thanks for having me, Brennan.
Absolutely.
Handsome Lando, aka Ken Palpatine here. Again, I'd like to thank our host Brennan for having me here. It's a pleasure to be here. Also, subscribe to his channel.
Well, thank you very much. The only thing you could have said better than that is some love for Denning.
Oh, I love him. He's a great man.
But I will mention we have one panelist who's running a little late. Liam Cspyder will be here shortly, but he said we should go on without him. But he'll probably be here soon. All right, so I have pulled up here the U.S. Heir to the Empire covers. Just as a refresher to remind us of kind of what the covers that were published here look like before we move on to the rest of the world. So I'll lead off with some comments here. I really like the original cover. It's a classic. Can't go wrong with it. I really like the 20th anniversary hardcover. It's really classy. The Legends banner reprint at the bottom right, it's not the best. And then the art for the Legend with the Legend reprint on the bottom left is really good. I really like it. And even though Thrawn has a pupil, which is horrific on the top left, overall I do think the cover is pretty good. They just really messed up Thrawn. So what are some of your guys' thoughts here on these U.S. covers?
Only good games. You all right, bro?
Yeah, I'm trying to see if my volume is what's doing that. I apologize if it's is it bothering the quality? I can't hear what it's exactly doing.
It's just kind of echoing.
It's just echoing a little bit.
Let me try to turn that down. Let me see. Is that better or worse?
That sounds pretty good.
Okay, can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Go first, bro.
So, what do you guys think of these covers?
I'll go. I think, well, despite the Disney reprints not being like faithful to like certain characters and how they look, like they're still good. But I still think the original cover is still the best, the most iconic one. But if Thrawn didn't have pupils, maybe the new covers would be better.
Yeah, that's a good point. What do you think of the covers, Greyholm?
Well, I remember commenting on the ELC one in the past. I wouldn't buy it because there's just so many better covers around. But it's not an offensive ELC cover unlike certain others. So, yeah.
Bane trilogy.
Yeah.
Dawn of the Jedi.
Oh God.
Yes.
Please don't bring that up.
Anyway, off topic.
Mhm.
The bottom left Legends banner one. No, I have that. I find it weird how they did it poster style and then had Thrawn appear twice. Like half his face is on one, and then the other half's on the second one, and then in the last command cover, he's sort of like standing there, facing the side or something. But anyway, it's decent, but the original ones are so much better. Which is why I got one copy of the original. The Legends banner on the bottom right, it's fine, I guess, but the original one, I'm not sure what it is about the Star Wars logo and all that, but it just feels better. Yeah.
I like with all the original Phantom covers. You know, the I don't know how you describe it other than like the stripes that accompany the logo. Always look
Yeah.
really good.
I'll say.
Slav.
I was gonna say I'm gonna run real quick and try to get some headphones or something. Try to fix the echo because I can't hear it from my end, so I don't know how it's sounding for y'all. Excuse me. But I'm gonna say real quick. I like the original cover the best, but I do like the anniversary edition cover. I like that version, and I think that the one on the top left, you know, the Legends reprint version, it's not horrible either. But yeah, I just think for the most part, I like the original version and the anniversary version. With that being said, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna try to find some headphones or something. But if not, I'm gonna have to try to find a way to fix this echoing to make it better.
Yeah,
Oh, you're all good.
Original is
Anytime you
usually
need
the best.
figuring that out. Slav.
What's good? All right. So, of course, the original is better. It looks like a really cool '80s movie that you never did get to see. I like that. I like the heir to the well, I guess the 20th anniversary edition. I'm not a fan of the dust jacket, but as I was saying off air, if you take off the dust jacket for the 20th anniversary, it's the original cover, but in like a metallic gray and black. It's really cool. So I prefer. I guess I'd say the 20th anniversary, but in that way. I don't like the Legends one that they made on the bottom left. I don't like the wraparound art. I'm just not a fan of the style. But the one up top on the left, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. It's pretty good. The eye thing bothers people. It doesn't really bother me. I guess if I was deeper into the lore, it probably would bother me. I know Chiss don't have pupils in the EU, but yeah, that's my thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah. These American covers overall, you know, I think they're pretty good. Even some of the reprints are fairly good. But here are some definitely wacky and perhaps monstrosities, depending on how you look at it. As we move to the next slide, which will show you some of the other covers here from the different countries. So, who wants to start off talking about some of these?
Ken, you go. I want to hear your opinion.
Okay, my take. Oh, Hungary's number one. Then I gotta go with Germany. Germany, because like think about it, it kind of sets the tone for the trilogy if you think about it. And then Portugal, and then the Czech Republic.
You don't like Czech Baka?
I mean, I like Czech Baka, but like as a serious cover, it's too silly.
It definitely holds up as a meme cover rather than an
Yeah.
actual cover. Yeah, I would have to say for me, with the covers here, if I were to rank them, I would probably be ranking them is Hungry is number one. You've gotten a reprimand, Ken.
Oh,
I would put Hungary number one, Portugal number two, Czech Republic number three, Germany number four. Just because I don't like how it's like Photoshop the background out and then put it on a black background. I think it's a little weird. Also, you can barely see Thrawn, and if you look closer, you might not have noticed, but Joris Sabioff is on the German cover. He's just peeking out between the words "the Thrawn Trilogy" and the words "Star Wars." So, Grey Holm Slov.
I'll go. I think they're all bad. Like I think every one of them are just bad. But if I had to, if you told me you had to give me one or I die, I would probably take the Portugal one.
Grey Holm.
Well, I'm just gonna comment on the German one first. I find it quite weird how they wrote Timothy Zahn's Star Wars and then wrote Krieg der Stern, which is Star Wars in German.
Okay.
It's
That's
just
interesting.
really weird why they did that, and therefore covering Joris. Well, I think if I had to rank them, clearly the Jack one is supreme because Jack Barker is as inscrutable as the Mona Lisa. I think we can all agree on that, just in the opposite end of the spectrum, because you can't tell whether he is confused, angry, horrified, or any sort of emotion vaguely relating to those. So clearly that is the top slot. Unfortunately, I know I said this offline, but on Discord, but whatever. I asked a friend in the Czech Republic, thank you, Marcel, about this cover, and he said it had a terrible translation, and B, it was abridged and only like half the length. So, unfortunately, the text does not match up to the brilliance of this cover.
Oh my gosh.
Secondly, I would rank probably the Portuguese one, actually. Because I know it doesn't have Thrawn or Joris, or... Well, it just looks like a generic Star Wars cover. But I think the point of Heir to the Empire was to continue Star Wars, so...
Yeah.
I mean, they could have included Thrawn, sure. They could have included Joris, sure.
Mhm.
But from a purely marketing perspective, they didn't need to.
All right,
That
I'm
said,
back. I don't know if my
Luke's
voice is
lightsaber-
even working on the. Hold up, can y'all even hear me? It sounds like I'm echoing in my own thing now. Does it sound good or worse?
It sounds great now. No echo.
Yeah, sounds great.
Okay.
But before we move on to some more thoughts here, I just got a text from Marcel, the Revanchist, and he reminded me that I said I was gonna shout him out about the Czech Republic cover, because Marcel adores the Czech Republic cover. Because why wouldn't you? As Grey Holm said, it compares to the Mona Lisa, just because
Yes.
of Czech Baka down there, and he
Yes,
is looking
indeed.
for a copy of the Czech Republic Thrawn Trilogy cover, but they won't ship to Canada or North America or outside of Europe. So he's trying to figure out how he can get this cover. So if you know anyone in Czechoslovakia or Germany who could have this book sent to them so that they can send it on to Marcel, make sure to comment down below after the stream or in the chat so that he can get some help with getting this beautiful piece of art for his collection.
For sure.
So-
I was gonna say real quick. I'll speak my piece on it. I was gonna say the Hungary version and the Czech Republic version. I'm also looking for those, so y'all can add me to that list because I'm trying to put those in my collection.
Awesome.
And also, I think they're all hilarious too. They're all bad in their own way. So, but they're so bad that they're good. So
Yeah.
I really like Sabayoth with his like. It looks like he's got really long nails on the check.
Yeah, he just got done. He just
It's
got done.
absolutely hilarious. They just thought, all right, so the English version has him with his hands upstretched in a weird position. Okay, so now he's shooting lightning out of one hand upwards, just so that they, remember the original one. But now he's also shooting lightning downwards.
And to count Thrawnula.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's terrifying. I like that Chewbacca's out of scale as well. Because if you think about it, Chewbacca's pretty big, right? He's probably got a bigger face than any of the humans there, Han, Luke, or Leia. So it's really funny. He looks like a dog.
He's just
'cause of
crouching
the
down.
scale.
Yeah.
He's
Actually,
just on his knees. He's just like.
Speaking
hey.
of scale, I am not 100% sure about this. I need to check the new Essential Guide to Characters, but I think Han's taller than Luke.
Oh, interesting.
Han is taller than Luke.
Wait, what? You think Han's taller than Luke?
I'm
Han
quite
is
sure
taller than
Han is
Luke.
meant to be taller than Luke.
I thought Titus told me somewhere that Luke is like 5'6" in canon, or sorry, in the EU. I mean,
I always thought Luke
check
was
the new
5'9"
Essential Guide
and
to
Han's about
Characters.
6 foot.
yeah, in real life, yeah. And it's funny because if you see in Dark Empire, like Luke towers over Han, picks him up and like grabs him by like one hand and chokes him.
Yeah, well,
I'm
he was
gonna
in
have to
his-
go
he
back
was-
and see that.
He was in his dark robes, so maybe you could explain it as under the dark robes, he's hovering off the ground.
Well, he's trying to be like his father, and he was
Standing
hanging
on a
with Darth
stool.
Sidious, so he got some extensions on his boots. Maybe he was a little taller.
In the play I did, one actor had to choke an older one who played his father, and even though
what play was
was
this?
rather, I wrote a play a short while ago.
Oh, very nice. So this was
I-
a scene from that play.
Yeah, a scene
Very
in that
cool.
play. So basically, the son chokes his father, and there was quite a big height difference between the two. But fortunately, the choke somehow worked. Like he didn't. The older one didn't need to bend down or anything. Obviously, he couldn't choke and pick him up in the air because that would have been quite unsafe. But the choke still worked. So I think Dark Empire is still possible without any hovering. But it's clearly changed up for dramatic effect. It wouldn't be like a literal thing. But Dark Empire is extremely stylized because, well, the art style's just that way and the method of storytelling is just that way.
What do you guys think of Luke Skywalker up to bat on the Portuguese cover?
I think it's hilarious. I just don't know why they chose that position to put him in. Like, why did he have to be so bent over like that? Like,
It
Boy,
looks,
looks like he's about to hit a home run.
Poor Luke has scoliosis.
Yeah, he's
People
hunched over,
in
too. Yeah.
I think people in general like to use that as some sort of like a generic hero pose.
Yeah, like
True
you
that.
can see you can see lots of characters could assume that pose. Like Lord of the Rings, think about those movies, the visualizations of the books. Lots of characters assume that like fighting stance. Taking it back to a cartoon called He-Man, the
Yeah, for real.
main character in He-Man has many a pose like that as well. But then if you look at the Hungarian cover, it looks like he's dancing.
Yes. Well, before we move to the Hungarian one, in the Portuguese one, if his arms were closer to his head, well, if his hands were closer to his head, that's actually legitimate guard. It's why you see it a lot in stuff like Lord of the Rings, because it's a legitimate sword guard. It's one of the
Yeah.
most common ones. But he's
Okay.
holding it so far out that it looks more like a baseball than sword guards. So that ruined it.
And it also looks like something should be like behind Luke on the Portugal one. I don't know why. It just looks empty on the left side for some reason.
Maybe the artist was gonna put Thrawn in there because I was about to say Thrawn's notably missing from the Portuguese one. Maybe
That's where he should be
on the deadline. Yeah,
that's where he should be.
Chewbacca isn't there either.
How could they omit a crucial character to Heir to the Empire?
Yes,
and I think
in fact, of all these covers, the only one who has the German one has Chewbacca. You just can't see him. The only one that has Chewbacca prominently there is the Czech one.
Indeed,
Clearly the best.
I didn't even notice Chewie is on the German one. He's like.
Neither did I until just now.
I mean, is that Mara supposed to be on the Hungary one?
I think that's Leia.
Is it Leia?
I couldn't really tell because it's so dark almost. I can't even tell the hair color. I can't really tell what that's supposed to be. But
it doesn't really look like Leia.
I think it's Leia, not Mara.
I was gonna say if they put Mara on it, that's really interesting. Really interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go to the next slide because I've got more Heir to the Empire covers.
Actually,
Ken, why don't you? Sorry, did you have anything else to say here?
Yeah, just a quick thing on the Hungarian one. I find it weird how they put Thrawn there, but not Han or Chewie.
That is a bit strange, isn't it?
That's why it looked kind of like Mara, because he was with Mara for a lot of that book, so it almost seems like they put Mara on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, the Falcon's there. It's just sort of weird to have Han and Chewie not on the Star Wars cover that's meant to be the direct continuation of Episode 6.
Yeah, that's a very good
point.
Just
why I think the Portuguese one is a bit better because it at least is Han.
Yeah, and that's why the Czech cover is the best because it has all of them.
Yes, the Czech one includes everyone.
Even if
prominently, unlike the German one.
Even if Leia looks like a completely different person, and well, all of them look like different people, but Ken, why don't you start us off for some comments on these covers here? Once you have some thoughts.
Well, the Brazilian one is pretty Chad. That's peaky right there. The Russian one kind of looks like some reverse, like the Star Wars font looks like some reverse Ukrainian, like nationalist propaganda. I don't know. It's like I don't know what to make of that. That's like some Azov battalion stuff right there. But not to get too political. It's the Netherlands one. Why is Luke wearing his? That's kind of weird. He's wearing his like farm boy.
Yeah.
His farm boy garb. It's kind of weird. Oh, and then the top of the Russian one has their character portraits from Truce and Bakura. That's also pretty. And the dark. I just noticed that. I'm only now noticing this. It's why is the Russian cover Dark Empire and Truce and Bakura, not Heir to the Empire?
The Russian cover is clickbait off of the internet. Clickbait before its time.
The Russian one is hilarious. I low-key want the Russian one though, just because it's so just off the wall and unusual. If you just saw that at the store and you didn't know that it was Heir to the Empire, you'd probably think that was Dark Empire or something. Or maybe you think it would be like a duology with Truce at Bakura and Dark Empire for some reason.
How would they even
the Dark Empire novelization plus Truce at Bakura? Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe an early edition that somehow managed to go before Heir to the Empire in the timeline.
The Netherlands version almost gives me like Heart of the Jedi, like random cover vibes.
Yeah, I thought Heart of the Jedi when I saw that one as well. But it's also weird that only Luke is on it,
Yeah. The Brazil one is cool though.
Yeah,
the
Brazilian
one
is
beautiful. Slov, what do you think of these?
I like the Brazilian one. The Netherlands one is interesting, although he's he's in his Tatooine robes and he has his green lightsaber, so it's like that's uncanny, but it's so cool. Yeah, and then you have the Truce of Bakura, and then you have Dark Empire. Dark Empire issue 4 or something for the Russian one. So they clearly just threw that together. They're like, I was gonna do a Russian accent. They won't care. They won't care. I don't know if that was good or not, But anyway,
Yeah, that was pretty good. Oh, Liam's here. Let me add him in.
hail
Sorry,
to
continue
Liam.
your thought process. Hello, Liam. Can you hear us?
Hello, I can hear you.
You made it.
Yeah, sorry, I'm a little bit late.
Oh,
Hello,
you're
everybody.
good.
Greetings.
So I'll back it up a slide so that maybe you can give some thoughts on some of these covers. Basically, we just showed the American covers, right? All of the different American ones, which I'm sure you're familiar with. And then we've got these covers from different countries. What do you think of these?
Oh man. So first off, I think the obvious one I need to look at here first is whatever is going on with the Czech Republic one. So, Thrawn, I don't know why, but he gives me like vampire vibes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Only Good Game said that as well.
Chewbacca.
He called him Count Thrawnula.
that's golden. I love that. I don't know what's going on with Chewbacca. He looks. I don't know. He doesn't look anything like Chewbacca. He looks like just. He looks like some sort of dog, you know.
Yeah, that's what I said. He also looks a bit like a Tribble.
I can't think of the breed.
Thrown on it.
Oh man. Is that supposed to be Leia? I can see the kind of the resemblance of like Han and Luke, but I don't even know what's going on with Leia there.
Leia looks more like Mara Jade in terms of her hair color.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best way to describe it. And I don't know what's going on with the hand there from Mr. Laserfingers.
Like his pedicure.
Yeah, Dora Savioff has a pedicure there for sure.
I don't know what's going on with the hands. That it doesn't, especially the one that's facing downward. Like, what happened to the other part of his hand? It's mostly just fingers.
That's yeah. What do you think of the German one where they basically said, let's turn the brightness down?
Yeah, they turn the brightness down. They turn the contrast like all the way up. I'm not sure what's going on there. That was really.
Did you notice that Chewbacca's actually on the German one? He's right beside Han.
Is he? Oh, I couldn't even see. It's so dark, you know.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a really interesting decision that they made. It's the most normal looking one out of all of them, though, I'd say. Actually, the Portugal one's looking pretty good. I actually kind of like that one. That one, I don't really see much of anything wrong with that. Okay, we got another weird one with Thrawn on the hungry one. Thrawn's face, it's a lot longer, and I'm not sure what that expression is, but it's just there's something about that expression. It's really kind of weird.
French.
He's turned French, complete with a mustache.
Oh, he has a mustache.
French
I didn't
Thrawn.
even notice that.
Is it shadow or a mustache? Because it does look like a mustache.
Both.
It could be shadow, but whatever. It looks like a mustache, so I'm calling it a mustache.
That works for me. The stormtroopers look kind of funky, but I mean, other than that, everything else looks pretty good. Yeah, that's my thoughts on these.
All right, so I'll bring you back up to here. I think Slov and Ken have talked a bit about these. I know Slov may have had more to say, but this is where we were at when you joined us. So
So I didn't miss too much.
Can you see the Russian cover, Liam?
Is that supposed to be a mix between Dark Empire and Truce at Bakura?
Yeah.
What were
Heir
they
to the
even
Empire.
thinking? How am I supposed to know that's Heir to the Empire?
By reading the Russian, apparently.
Using the Force, actually.
Yes, that.
I don't even know what to think about that. That's
like Slav and Ken said already. I really like the Brazilian one. It's really good.
Oh yeah, that one actually looks really cool. I like the artwork for that. I'm not sure why, but it kind of reminds me of the Doom poster. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah,
Oh yeah, the color hues and all that.
yeah. I can see that.
It looks
And then,
really cool.
Ken, was it you who said that the Netherlands one gave you Heart of the Jedi vibes?
It did, yeah. And it also kind of reminds me of I got what's the name of the book? Oh, just come back to me. I'll remember.
It reminds me a bit of the Luke Skywalker.
Oh, I was gonna say Tatooine Ghosts.
Oh yeah, Tatooine Ghost too. It's got the like
Ah.
light blue colors in there. Yeah,
Definitely.
and like was pointed out earlier, Liam. Luke is wearing his Tatooine robes for this Heir to the Empire cover.
Yeah, I'm
Well-
not sure what's up with that because this is supposed to be like what 5 years after Return of the Jedi.
I
Not
think
just that, but he's also using his Jedi, as in Return of the Jedi lightsaber, but it has a
Is that
blue-white blade instead
Yeah.
of the green.
it's very odd, but I kind of like it.
they did nice detail work. I mean, it looks nice. It's just I think the robes and the lightsaber are out of place.
I see an awesome comment from where'd it go? Scott Johnson here. He says the Russian one is Alex's favorite because of course
Of
Palps
course,
was on it.
clearly.
Palps
I
was
think
on it, so
that's a given.
absolutely. Marcel's starting rumors.
I think it's possible.
So, anyone else have some comments with these ones? I think Gray Holman, Only Good Games, haven't talked about any of these yet.
Okay, I'll go. The Brazilian one, well, the scene in the book isn't that iconic, but it's still drawn really well. And if you asked me to rank the international covers generally, I would put Brazil second only to Japan. Because the Brazilian cover art is really consistently good. If we ever do another one and get to Plagueis, they have really good cover art for Plagueis.
Indeed.
Actually, every version of it, and they had quite a few, was really good. So, that one is probably the best cover we've seen, the best non-American cover we've seen today, short of Jack Bakker. But the Netherlands one isn't offensively bad. It's just meh, because they only had Luke and a bunch of X-wings and ties.
Yeah. As we'll see later, the other Netherlands covers are Dark Force Rising and for Last Command, I think have Leia and Han on them.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's kind of interesting. It
We'll get
works
to
better
that
all
one.
together.
Yeah.
But
Maybe
from
they
my
intended it.
understanding, Slov is gonna have to head out in a second.
Oh.
Yeah, I gotta head out. Something's happening.
Uh,
I've been having to deal with it for the past few minutes. That's why I've been very quiet. I'm sorry, guys.
No
Yeah.
worries.
no, you're all good.
It's
You're
all
all
right.
good, man.
Mm-hmm.
See ya.
Yep. Have a good one.
Love.
Have a good night, Slav.
Thanks for coming
See you
on,
later.
Slov.
Yo.
Always, Brennan. Always.
So we've lost Slav, but I sent when I found out Slav was gonna have to leave, I sent Marcel an invite in case he wants to fill his place.
Oh, can I
Ooh,
add? I want to add to
yes.
Graham's point about the Brazilian covers being right below the Japanese stuff. I think you're pretty spot on that.
Yeah, that's probably the tier list. Japanese art, then the Brazilian ones right below that. You're
Mm-hmm.
pretty spot on.
I agree.
Only Good Games. What are your thoughts on these covers?
I'd already said it, but I'll say it again. I don't mind saying it again. I'll say the Brazil one was good. I like it. I still like the original better, of course. The Netherlands ones, that's what I was saying. It reminded me of Heart of the Jedi, just because it's just so random. Like, I don't know why they just chose that, but for whatever reason. And the Russian one, like I was saying, it just give me duology vibes of Truce at Bakura and Dark Empire for some reason, and just like super random and has nothing to even do with the book, you know. Kind of like the Netherlands version, but the Netherlands version is so vague. I mean, it could be anything, right? But the Brazil version, I think, is the least obtrusive, we'll say.
Marcel,
Yes.
I see you were impersonating.
Greetings.
You're impersonating Slov, huh?
I'm just filling in for
Oh,
Slov.
Marcel.
I had
Well,
to-
thank you for joining us, Marcel.
Do we think the Russian cover is as mean here as the Czech cover?
Yeah, it pretty much is. I would
I just
really
don't
love to
understand.
get one. I would love to get the Russian cover. It's so bad.
It's just
The
like
Czech one is vastly superior to the Russian one.
Of course.
They stole
course.
the American versions of the covers for Truce of Bakura and Dark Empire, and they smushed them together. Why couldn't they have just taken the original Heir to the Empire cover? That's what I don't get.
Something I just noticed about the Netherlands cover is the font that says Timothy Zahn is the same color as the background. So it's like
Oh, it
it
is.
looks really weird.
I didn't even
Oh.
notice that until you pointed that out.
Looks like they just like cut out the like red banner there. It's weird. Marcel, do you have anything to get off your chest about the Czech cover?
I think you've covered it for me, so I think we can move on.
All right.
There's no moving on from the Czech one, Marcel.
It'll
I
haunt
wanted
my
to say
dreams.
what's up to the
There's no
Revanchist.
moving on.
That's my phone background right now.
The Czech
By
cover.
the way, Liam, to answer your question about why they have these covers instead of the original one, I've postulated that perhaps it's because of a rights issue and it costing more to use the US one than just hiring some artist to do some really cheap cover for the
Yeah.
That
local
makes
release,
sense.
because then they can save in tons of cash.
Yeah.
This would definitely make sense for the Russian one for sure. Netherlands, Brazil, maybe not. Portuguese, maybe. The Czech one, almost certainly, and definitely the German one. Actually, maybe also the Hungary. So basically, all of them except maybe Brazil. Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Makes
guess
sense.
we shall move along.
Oh yeah, I apologize. I clocked out for a second. I don't know what
Yeah, no
happened.
worries. You're good. We've got the Dark Force Rising covers here. Now, I want to point out that if you look really closely, the image is really small. But the Dark Force Rising cover, look what they did to Luke's face on the Legends reprint on the right.
Yeah,
He completely retouched his face, and then he's looking a completely different direction. If you look at his features, he does not look like Luke at all.
he has more of like a point to his chin, if you know what I mean, on the Legends one.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Looks like he has a
longer
bowl cut.
nose.
Yeah.
And a bowl cut, too.
His hair's like almost a different color too.
Yeah, it's like really sandy. It's more like a New Hope Luke than Return of the Jedi Luke. But how are you guys feeling about these covers? I think they're all great covers. I love all of these covers.
I
actually.
agree.
The Legends
for
reprint.
except for the bottom right one, which they
Yeah.
missed his face.
Yeah.
I think all of them are decent except the bottom right one.
The bottom right one looks really weird because I think someone decided to go and decrease the brightness or something.
Yeah.
Because then you can see Han's face a lot better and Leia's face. Thrawn's less reflective. The explosions look a bit more fiery. But then the person who did that somehow managed to mess up Luke in the process and then had to go redraw him or something.
Yeah, that's probably what happened.
I really, really like the top left one. The only thing I wish they did is instead of the stormtrooper, I wish they put Thrawn's face there instead.
True.
Hey, that would be pretty cool.
Or
Yeah.
Joris.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
I agree.
totally
The top
Actually,
left one's
Joris,
pretty good.
Yes. Well,
For me, I only like the one in the middle. The rest I think are
True.
not good.
I mean, that's always nice to hear. Marcel going for the original covers only.
mm-hmm.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
fair.
I think I'd go, honestly, I'd go with the original, obviously, but I'd say for the Legends one, I'd say the top left one's decent, but still it just doesn't convey enough of the story with just the Stormtrooper there. So I feel like Luke should have definitely been there, or Thrawn, but I'm obviously going to go with the original probably on everything we go with. But I will say on the original that someone's pointed out before to me, I don't know if it was a comment or somewhere else, that Thrawn is just in a weird, like why is he so small on the cover? Like I get it, maybe he's supposed to be far away and like Luke's up close to the camera, but it just all of the how big everybody is on the cover is just kind of odd on that one. But I love the color. I love the colors. That's my favorite thing about the original one is I love that like red and black kind of vibe with it.
Yeah, the reds and
Yeah,
blacks.
that was a really
Great.
I always kind of
color
wish
choice.
Thrawn was a lot bigger. He's really small on all of the original ones.
It feels like they didn't know how Thrawn should look when drawn out and thought he'd look weird or something, and then so they just shrunk him so you can't see his face properly.
Oh, the other thing I would say is that the other covers look like a downgrade. Like they legitimately, all of them have less represented on them than Dark Force Rising, the original cover, including the Legends reprint one where Luke's face is a downgrade. So
I
every
think the
single
Legends
one
reprint one was the best out of the Legends ones.
for sure. In my opinion, they're all downgrades from the original. They don't offer anything new.
Definitely.
Yeah, I just don't know why they changed Luke's face so much in that one on the bottom right. Like, what made him think that looked so good? What made it look good or something?
Yeah. Yeah, Ken, what are your thoughts here before we move on to some global covers?
I think the original is the best one, but if I had to go for one of the Legends covers, it'd have to be the bottom left.
Bottom left.
Yeah, the bottom left
defensive.
actually is a decently drawn Han and Leia. It just doesn't include enough.
Yeah, there's not enough because they were going.
Also, if I may add one thing to the original cover is my whole take on Thrawn being tiny. I feel like it could confuse readers that like Thrawn's actually a tiny like midget villain.
Thrawn's just a hobbit.
Oh my goodness.
He's a tiny, angry man. Yes.
I love that comment.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm not a fan of the only thing I like the idea of what they were trying to do with when they did the Legends versions, like kind of being like the sketched. I don't know how to describe it. Like, you know what I mean? That bottom left one, that style that it's in, because there's a bunch of those that, that they redid. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm just not a fan of a lot of those. But some of them, like if we get to, I don't know if we're doing the, I guess we're probably not doing the Revan books today. But I was gonna say I don't like those remade ones, honestly, just in my opinion.
Yeah, they did that sketchy thing with like the Kenobi and Shatterpoint and like Yoda Dark Rendezvous.
Oh, the ELCs?
Death Troopers.
Oh yes, those are terrible.
I'm not a fan of those, but I will say anybody who loves those, I mean that I can feel it. That's just an artistic taste. Like that's what you're into, that's what you're into. So, I'm not knocking anybody feel like that.
I personally think that there's not a single ELC cover I'll actually prefer to the original.
Interesting.
I think
even Rule of
we had a stream about that a while back, and my final conclusion was there's not a single one I like more than the original.
What about Rule of Two?
Is that I was gonna say I think that's my only
original Rule of Two cover.
That may be my only exception. Is that the one? That's the one where I think Darth Bane and Darth Zana look terrible on the cover. I think so. I think I do prefer the. Yeah, I think I prefer the Legends one because it looks so bad.
Bane sketchy thing. I hate it even more.
Yeah.
So
fair
Rule
enough.
of Two, both are bad, but that one's still worse. It's like in Yoda Dark Rendezvous. Okay, so they photoshopped a bunch of movie images together to form a cover, but at least still looks decent, unlike the ELC one where they photoshopped Yoda's most iconic pose and just added some watery thing around it.
Yeah, that one's really weird.
That one's just too generic and just I don't know.
Yeah,
like I'm quite sure that that's a poster shot of Yoda.
I made a video called "Every Jedi That Fought at the Battle of Geonosis," and in the list video, I specifically for trolling took the Yoda Dark Rendezvous picture of Yoda and put it in the video. I think a couple
the ELC one
on it. Yeah, the Essential Legends reprint cover with the like watery filter on it. It's really weird.
Yeah.
I just want to say I learned how to properly say Revanchist today, so I'm proud of myself.
Hey, nice.
Marcel?
Oh, that's great. You can just say however you want, though.
Oh, I want to say it the right way. So I've been studying your interview. So I want to shout out his interview too because I really like that interview.
Yeah, check out Stevie B's YouTube channel. I might drop a link in the comments later. He and Marcel did an awesome. I guess you'd call it a podcast kind of, but an episode where they talked about kind of the Old Republic era. It was very good.
Thank you.
Russia's back
Absolutely.
at it again.
I need to check it out.
Yeah, Dark Force Rising global covers. Russia is indeed at it again.
Yeah.
Who wants to start
Russia
off with
again.
not
They
Russia.
really like Truce at Bakura, huh?
Is that
I
the
think
German
that
or
was
the
the only
Netherlands?
cover that
Where
they
did they
bought.
get the art for the bottom half of the Russian one? Did they
Yeah.
make that, or is that from like? Is that
Looks like
from,
concept art for Coruscant or something.
What in the world is going
Yeah.
on with Portugal? Portugal
Dude,
looks
what's
like
going
they're
on?
wax figures. You know what I mean? They look like wax
Yeah, they
figures.
do. They do. You're
Why does
right.
the Dutch cover look like a Han Solo book and not a
Yeah.
It's like one of Brian Daly's Han Solo novels.
Yeah.
The Portugal cover, I don't know what they got going on. One with Leia's face, like she's old or something, and then they got
Leia
Luke
looks
like
like
he's got.
Mon Mothma.
Luke has unusually blonde hairs, or I don't know what it is about his face and hair, but it looks like he's about to go see ABBA or something. I'm not for sure.
Han Solo looks like
Steve
Captain
Irwin.
Kirk.
Yeah.
Han Solo does look like Kirk there, or like a yeah.
Luke
Yeah,
looks like
absolutely.
Steve Irwin.
The Hungry one is just boring. There's like nothing on it. It's just a Star Destroyer.
I like the art,
I
but it
actually-
doesn't convey the story, does it?
I really like the Hungarian cover, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Really?
And actually, no, this actually is a scene in the book. It's that bit where Luke almost gets captured by the interdictor.
Yeah.
It's just that this doesn't look like an interdictor, but whatever. They didn't have art for an interdictor back then. So they just drew a Star Destroyer, and then Luke dead in space, in a tractor beam, and then blown up advanced time.
Yeah,
So
I agree. The Hungry one's pretty
really
good.
like
That's a good
Hungarian one. It's a lot subtler, but I actually like it even more than the Brazilian one from the last round.
Oh, interesting.
True.
Because
very interesting.
it's actually a scene in the book, but it's an
Yeah.
even more iconic scene, I guess.
Yeah,
I get
that's true.
X-Wing vibes from it for some reason. The X-Wing
Yeah, I
books.
get X-Wing
Yeah.
vibes too because of the explosions. If you see an
Yeah.
X-Wing, a TIE fighter, and a Star Destroyer with explosions, you get X-Wing cover vibes. Nope.
With
Definitely.
the Russian covers, I'm looking at the
Yeah,
Russian
I
covers.
want to jump to the Russian cover for a sec because Truce at Bakura is obviously being reused, but I think I know what the bottom is.
Oh yeah, where is
It's
that
Ralph
from?
McQuarrie concept art for Had Abaddon, which
That's super
became
random.
Coruscant.
Oh, interesting. Was that
That's
in
Ralph
the
McQuarrie
guide to the-
concept art.
Was any of that in the guide to the Star Wars universe, the illustrated guide?
I think
I
it
think a
was
lot
for
of-
Return of the Jedi that he did that.
Right, but the illustrated guide to the Star Wars universe, didn't it have a lot of Ralph McQuarrie concept art in there?
I'm not sure because I think I'm not sure if this would be there because this planet didn't make it into the movie.
Yeah.
But I don't have the book, so I can't check.
You know, the Russian covers are so weird that I just really want all of them for some reason. Looks like they're in hardcover too. Like, they look so strange. I just really
Yeah.
want them now.
The Netherlands version I didn't speak on. I was gonna say that's just really unusual. Like it's just I don't know what to say about it. It almost looks
Why is
like
Why is the Star Wars logo squashed on it too? It's like
True.
compressed.
They didn't want to cover Han's face, and they
Oh,
just
yeah.
had so much to say.
I just think that purple background, like it's kind of weird. It's like it sends you mixed vibes of what the story is even supposed to be. It looks like it's supposed to be for something else for sure. Yeah.
I'm seeing a pattern with the Dutch covers. I think the next one's gonna have Leia's face on it. The last
Yeah.
round.
Han
Yeah, I
has a
think
very weird face on the Netherlands one, and it makes me just think of the Assault at Salonia cover, but lousier.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good point.
Because that one is literally just Han and his gun.
Now, I know that you guys were criticizing their faces on the Portuguese one. I kind of like it. I like the background to it.
It kind
And
of
I
reminds me
their
of like a
poses.
movie poster, oddly enough.
Leia's face for me is just
If you
scary.
took out the characters, it would remind me of a movie poster.
Leia looks like Keira Nerys from Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, she does. I was just thinking that. That's
And
a great
there's
observation.
She looks
there's
like Mon
two
Mothma.
explosions off to the side.
Yeah, exactly. She's Mon Mothma here.
The Russian one, I was gonna say, it almost like just subtly gives me Fate of the Jedi Outcast vibes because of the yellow and kind of just that whole yellow.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know. But
Yeah,
I don't know. That's kind of weird.
And like the
They
buildings-
won't stop with the
the
trees
Fate
at
of the-
Bakura, though.
And the Fate of the Jedi covers also have like rough, jagged buildings on the covers.
Yeah.
So, like with those buildings there too. Yeah, I can see that.
Brendan,
But
you
yeah,
know what we
Truce-
need to do for the next stream?
What's that?
We need to find the Russian version of the Truce of Bakura just to see if it's actually the Truce of
It's just
Bakura.
heir to the Empire. The Truce of Bakura version is heir to the Empire.
Look at Scott's comment. His comment about the Hungary cover.
Oh, sorry, I'm not looking at the comments right now. Apologies.
No, it's really good. Don't worry, I'll warn you. It's really good.
Which one's that?
The second last one and then the last one.
This Thrawn is short like Napoleon.
The one after that.
And the other one.
But that's true.
Hungry cover of Dark Force Rising looks like Cathol Outback cover. Yeah, from Western Games. You're absolutely right. Absolutely.
Oh, it is the Castle Outback cover.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's the
is
exact
the
same
Castle
cover.
What? That's crazy. They were copying Western Games too. That's
Wow.
crazy.
Which one is? My bad. I was that.
The
Hungry
Russian
one.
cover. The Russian
Oh.
cover.
No,
Oh,
it's the
sorry,
Hungary
the
cover.
Wow.
Which one? Oh, the Hungry cover.
The Hungry cover copies the Cathol Outback Western Games source
I
book.
want to look that up.
Oh, okay.
That's very interesting.
I'm glad somebody pointed that out.
But I will.
Wow.
Um,
Yeah, it's the exact same thing.
I've got
I want-
the last slide here for Dark Force Rising is the Brazilian cover. Which
I'll say
again,
off top, I
is
like
very
that
good.
one.
Really, really good. I love
love
Like
that
I
one.
said, the Brazilian ones are great. There's another version, I think, where you see like even more of a castle. Let me see if I can find it and send it to Discord.
Brazil knows what's up, though. They're always bringing out the amazing covers. I love these.
Absolutely. The lighting in it is great too.
Absolutely.
With the lightsaber and the lightning. Marcel can.
I found it. I found it.
Think of this one. All right.
What's
Let me check. The Brazilian cover.
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
It's pretty peak.
Okay, I'm just gonna post this in the.
I would almost buy this as a poster if I could find it.
Which chat's it in?
I would love that as a poster.
Yeah, it would be a great
Hold
poster
up.
to put up.
Actually, let me add Marcel to this too. Okay.
Scott Johnson says that Sabioth looks like Moses.
He does it.
He does.
And he almost looks like you can see a skeleton, like almost like reflected in a weird way. I don't know if it's just
If
me.
you
but-
look at the larger version that I just sent,
Yeah.
I think it's an alternate cover. The Brazilian ones usually have a few. You can also see Luke's X-wing plus Mara crawling away.
Yeah, I've
Oh,
seen
yeah,
that
very
part.
cool.
Yeah. I love that. That was really like a cool, I think that one's really good. I really love that one.
Brazilian one is the best for sure. Yeah.
Sabayoth is coming down from the mount to lay down the law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it gives somebody who just saw the cover who wasn't a fan, maybe of Star Wars, or maybe who just saw, let's just say, the original trilogy, maybe they would think, oh wow, maybe this guy's even stronger than the Emperor. Like, we need to buy this book and see, what's going on.
With all that lightning, that's a good point. Can you guys see the original cover that Random sent me?
Yes.
Yeah, it looks
really
great.
cool.
Looks great.
It's really
I love
really
that.
good.
Wait,
Here
guys.
here with
Who
a
is that?
blaster. It's
Oh, that's
Mara Jade.
Oh, okay. I couldn't see because it's so darkened. I can't see her hair.
Yeah. It's all
when
around really nice.
we need to
all this
check
work
when the Hungarian release of Dark Force Rising was.
Yeah. 'Cause
Reason
maybe-
being,
do you think
the
West End Games
Castle
stole from?
Outback is exactly because the Castle Outback's in Darkstrider. That's in '96.
Yeah,
Dark
that's
Horse Rising
interesting.
in English was released in '92.
Interesting. Hmm.
So unless they waited until after 1996,
Yeah,
to
West End
release
Games may have stolen.
Heir to the Empire, there, I think West End Games was the thief.
Interesting. That's very interesting.
Oh.
Hmm.
The plot
Wait,
thickens.
let me check.
The plot
See
does
if we
indeed
can
thicken,
find it.
and you know,
Can't.
the thing is, West End Games, I feel like, were willing to steal art because they were a small company, right? Their stuff is great, but they obviously didn't have a lot of budget for what they were doing, right? So I could see that.
Yeah.
I'll move on here to the Last Command US covers. What are you guys' thoughts here? What are you feeling about these covers? I know
Again,
Marcel has
Nice.
very strong feelings on the Essential Legends collection cover.
Well,
He,
again, the original cover just has the most going on. Everything else is a downgrade.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I love the bottom left though. I love it so much. The Thrawn at ease, it looks so cool.
It does look pretty cool. I
Yeah,
agree.
bottom left I gotta go with, but I do think the top left misleads the audience. Oh, Luke's gonna be evil. Oh, plot twist.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Yeah, I
That's
prefer
true.
the original
Well-
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like him and Mara Jade are about to have a fight in the novel. That's what that conveys.
Yeah, that's a good point. I did think about that with all the red on Luke's face reflecting.
The
Yeah, good
bottom
point.
right, I don't know. The bottom right, it just looks like it's dimmer, and that the last command is in white, and it says obviously book 3. So it just I don't know. It's just
only
not.
slightly changed, you know.
Yeah.
I think it's like kind of black instead of blue, like you said. It's a bit darker.
I didn't know if it was just the way that maybe that was if somebody took that picture. I don't know if it was a straight like captured, what you see just on Google.
Like you can tell
Yeah.
the orange in the middle there. It's like you can tell it's very saturated.
It's like
the
almost a
whole
sun-faded
image has
copy.
a yellow filter on it. If you look a bit closer,
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
that's
the whole
interesting.
thing has a yellow filter. It's very strange how they just couldn't help themselves and had to go add some sort of filter for the re-release. It's just weird.
It just looks cheaper, really, to me.
It's the same for the X-Wing novels. Like if you look at the originals compared to the Legend or reprints, the colors are a bit off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
like
noticed
washy.
that. That's a good point. So here are the global covers, and we have 2 Russian ones. What a treat.
Whoa.
Yeah, the one on the far right
That
is
is
just,
more Ralph McQuarrie art
Oh
on
my
the right.
gosh.
the one on the far right is sending some messages. I don't know what they're trying to say.
More and more and more and more Truce at Bakura. They just can't help themselves. They love
Well,
Truce at
okay,
Bakura.
I think this supports my previous theory. So they bought the Truce at Bakura cover art, but that was it. That was the only one that they bought.
I will be very surprised if I don't find a person in Russia who doesn't like the Truce at Bakura.
I mean, just imagine their collection. Every book is like the same
Every
cover.
book has they have copies of Dawn of the Jedi with Truce at the Curl.
That might actually get me to read it.
The Dark Lord trilogy with Truce and Bakura.
I'm just thinking about how annoying that is, though.
Also,
Guys,
why is the Hungry cover bootleg X-Wing?
Oh.
Yeah.
Under a communist system, everything looks the same. Okay.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, good point.
That answers
Marcel,
it all.
good point.
The UK one, it's the exact same. So.
Except it's
Hmm.
black instead of blue.
Yeah, that's the
It's
only
like
difference.
it's like darker than the Legends one even. It's like completely black. That's interesting.
It's a stylistic choice, you see.
Yeah,
The Russian, the third one, the Russian one, it just looks like an X-Wing book with
yeah.
Truce of Bakura, a duology book again.
What's the
Yeah.
4th one? What art is that? Is that more Ralph McQuarrie stuff?
Looks like it.
Yes.
That's just the takeover. I'll just say that.
Rise of the West End Games Empire.
The Hungry one here is another West End Games cover. Interesting. From Classic Adventures Volume 4. You're right.
I think
Yeah,
we need to
so
check
again-
which
Who was stealing
dates.
from who? Who was stealing
Exactly.
from who? Was Western Games stealing from the Hungarian copies, or was
So
Hungary stealing from Western Games?
It's
I don't
funny.
like the Hungarian one here because it has nothing to do with the Thrawn
Actually, I think
trilogy,
it
does
does. That could be Mount Tantus.
Is it?
I don't know, but well, I mean, it could be.
I mean,
It's
yeah,
some
you're
sort
right.
of mountain, and you can see structures in there. I think there's
Yeah,
a
and
solid chance of
forests and
Mount
stuff.
Tantus.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point actually. Yeah,
And it will be much harder to draw the interiors and the exterior, and then therefore to add some extra action to it. Just put an X-wing and a TIE fighter there. Looks great.
And
yeah.
the UK version, nobody said it. It's just exactly the same, basically. So, I mean, it looks like there might be a slight difference. Is there like a difference of the black at the top?
Yeah,
Maybe.
it's black instead of blue. Do you see how it's like blue?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
No,
even
I was
even
about
down
say
to the
this.
lines.
I'm not gonna lie. That's not too bad. It's not too bad. I still prefer the original, but
Yeah,
it's kind of interesting.
I was about to say this might be controversial, but I think the UK one's better. I like
The
how it's all
Sunday
black
Times
instead of like
bestseller.
blue. I like how it's all black instead of blue because I think that it makes the characters. I like it. And
I didn't hear you that last
logo
part. I cut out.
Oh, I think the UK Last Command is better than the normal one. I kind of like the black
Okay.
background more than the blue. I think it makes the characters pop a bit more off the
Yeah.
art. What do you guys think?
True.
I agree.
Well-
My only thing would be this is if they had done the second book in that same blue style, they could have had all three in that blue style. But I do like what you're saying. I do like the black does make everything pop a little bit more. But I still am gonna prefer the original. But I will say that UK version is pretty cool.
I also like that it says the Sunday Times bestseller up there. That's cool.
Yeah.
No UK.
Mhm.
Sunday Times
Yeah.
bestseller.
These Russian ones, I don't even know what to say about these.
They're
It-
just
The Russian
the
ones are
Truce of
just
Bakura.
Yeah, and Truce of Bakura is actually next. The next slides.
Oh my
so
word!
so
is it
excited for that one.
actually?
I'm
Is it actually?
I was not able to find Russian Truce of Bakura.
No!
Oh my gosh. That seems like that should be the main one you can find.
That's
Yeah,
proof
yeah,
that that was the only.
That's like their
cover that
favorite
they
book.
bought
I
the
think
rights
we
to.
could go off an assumption, though. I think just from an educated guess that I think we know what the cover is probably going to look like.
Yeah, they just have
I
Truce of
think
Bakura
the
at the
Russian
bottom and
Truce of
Bakura
Bakura
at
cover
the
would be
top.
exactly the same
Wait,
as
do
the
you
normal
think,
one.
Do you think that it would be the bottom section of the art would be Truce of Bakura and the top would be Truce of Bakura too?
Just do-
I love that.
Yeah, you just
Well-
have them all twice.
That'd be hilarious.
We've got some more Lost Command covers, and the Japanese have a cover here.
Ooh.
But I've got to
The
say,
best.
why does Joris Sabioth? Is that Joris Sabioth? He looks a bit more like Vader without his mask. At the top,
Where?
right there.
On the right, that's Chewbacca.
Is it Chewbacca?
Yeah, that's Chewbacca.
It's Chewie.
In the
Are you talking about it in the shadow in the top left? I
Yeah,
do see that. I
sorry,
think that's
top
supposed to. That looks like that maybe is supposed to even be like Pelion or something. I don't know.
is it Paleon? I
But
can't
it looks
tell.
like a
Yeah, you
scary,
might be
like
right.
dead Pelion though. Looks like
That's
he's like a
weird.
zombie.
That's weird. Marcel,
I don't know what that's supposed to be.
Leia does not look like Leia in the Netherlands. Like I don't know what it is. I can't see Carrie Fisher in her face. For
Her
some
face
reason.
is
Yeah.
very different.
She's just
It
kind of
looks-
scowling.
It just looks like Heihachi Mishima in the cover of the Japanese one in the shadow up at the top left.
Brazil is good, but again, I think like the one that has the most going on, the German supremacy here is the
Very
best.
purpley.
Really, I'd go
Marcel,
Japanese
look,
myself.
No, I gotta go Brazil.
I included this German one here because I think it's really funny that they slapped the banner over Sabioth so you can't see it.
I just noticed that. It's hilarious.
They censored his
Oh.
face.
He's just not important enough to get shown, I guess.
Maybe
it's
they
like
thought
all
he
over the
looked
Dutch
too
cover.
much like Hitler.
Maybe it's just the resolution of the Japan one, but it just
I
doesn't
like the
really
Japan one.
doesn't really resonate.
Japan
with-
one's interesting.
It's
Yeah, the
kind of
Ja-
weird. I
the
really
Japan
like
one
the
is bad.
Brazilian one with Paleon and Thrawn and the oh geez, what's it called? Someone help me out. What's the lizard called?
Islamari?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that the
It's
Islamari is
Islamari.
represented on it. I wish they put a little Islamari. I can't talk. I said Islamari. Talking about Bob Marley in here. I like the little Islamari, and I like the kind of purple hue to it. If that's what, and I like Pelion standing in the cover. so I think that's cool.
Yeah.
But I'm always going to prefer the OG cover. And the Netherlands one is just giving me like James Bond, like 007 vibes. Way Leia's kind of just
Yeah,
serious
with
like
the
that.
gun and the
Yeah.
gun down the barrel like that. What's interesting here, I think, is that the Netherlands ones would look really cool all together. Because if you recall, Heir to the Empire was Luke, Dark Force Rising was Han,
Right.
and in the Netherlands, Last Command's Leia. So I think they'd all look
Yeah.
really cool. The cover is like all spread out
They
together.
would, yeah.
At least they go together with their theme.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not
But
gonna
at the
lie,
same time,
it-
you could say Russia goes with its theme too, though.
yeah, because they're all. Yeah.
Well,
The thing is, honestly, I would take any of these covers if I had the chance to buy any of these. I would get them.
For sure.
They're kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to give a slightly spicy take.
Ooh.
Oh,
I actually don't like this Brazilian one at all.
Oh wow.
Oh.
I have
I
to
actually
agree.
don't.
It doesn't.
It looks off.
Yeah.
Like, I can't see this purpleness in a Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
I mean,
Actually,
okay,
yeah.
sure, it's Thrawn's second bridge, like his holographic art chamber room, but why is it purple? I can't see that in a Star Destroyer. I mean, if it's an artistic choice, sure, it just doesn't really work for me.
I think the Islamari is a little cartoon looking, a little too cartoony.
That it is
Yeah.
really fat and not long enough. It doesn't look very lizard-like, and Pelion looks dead. And Netherlands, it's nice enough, I guess. Leia, B-wings, nothing much else.
I like the Japanese New Jedi Order covers. I'll say that.
Oh, for sure.
That's a
Yeah.
universal opinion.
Yeah.
Japanese, I really like Luke. I know it's pixelated, but whatever, it looks great. And Brennan, if you won't mind toggling back, I can compare to the previous ones. Russian one, no comment. No comment. I
The
just
Russian
can't
Truce
comment
and
on that.
Bakura ones, yeah.
Hungary, we need to find out who stole from whom.
Indeed.
And if you go back one more,
Do you remember the other day when I said
I
that?
have stuff to say about the Last Command's original plus UK plus German covers.
I love the patterns we're seeing in all of these.
Yeah.
So,
Greyholm, what the other day when I said that you
Yeah.
were the Sherlock Holmes of Singapore, because you found the book cover that I hadn't thought was anywhere on the internet. You're doing that same sleuthing here, trying to figure out who stole from who. I was very accurate in that comment.
I need to Google translate Hungarian into English and go digging around for the records of what's it called? Was it Valhalla Lodge? Yes, Valhalla Lodge, I think, is the Hungarian publisher. I'll do that later.
Awesome. You'll have to tell us what you find.
Yes, I'll report my findings. But I have stuff to say about the original one that's also a bit spicy. Okay, so I'll start with the good. I really like Han and Leia. It reminds me of Endor. I'm quite sure that that's the Endor costume, actually, which is a bit weird, but whatever. It looks nice. Luke... actually, no, I'll skip that for now. Joris looks a bit weird.
Yeah. Again, Moses
His
vibe.
beard is very inconsistent compared to previously. Like, it used to be a lot past his waist, and then now it's not that far down his chest. Anyway, I like the art style, like the going between the like space being in Luke's robes. That was really cool. And Luke looks really nice in his Jedi robes, but Mara looks horrible.
Yeah, Mara does look horrible here.
Mara looks absolutely horrible.
Her hair is all weird too.
Looks
her
like
hair
Leia
is weird, and her.
Marcel, what do you think
I'm not
of
sure
Mara
what's
here?
going on with those fatigues. They just look really bad, in my opinion.
It's like, yeah.
I think Mara looks fine.
No. It's the of the.
I grew up with this
English
cover, though,
covers.
so for me,
this is the best.
Iconic.
Yeah.
I remember I used to think when I saw it, I used to
Of the
think
English covers.
I used to think it was Leia at first for some reason.
Yeah, because
Ooh.
the camo
I-
gear, the
I thought her hair was like in a bun, like type of
Yeah.
thing. That's what I thought. Because just flipping through it really
Yeah.
quick, but then when you realize Leia sitting at the bottom of the cover, yeah, obviously, and you know the story,
that's
you
a
know
good
that
point.
obviously it's not Leia
That's
Yeah.
a good point. Yeah, I can see that too.
because obviously, Leia didn't fight Luke,
So-
W Luke, clone Luke.
Exactly. Yeah.
To be
so,
honest,
Greyholm, what are you
I
thinking
would-
about the UK cover here with the black?
I like the blue slightly more, but the black fits better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's my
they're
take. I
both
like
pretty-
the blue more, but the black fits better.
The black is really cool. Like, I would really like to track this one down. This cover, like, genuinely looks
For
great.
sure.
To be honest, though, I think the Hungarian stuff would be genuinely on my list of good covers. Surprisingly. Hey, Slav is in the comments.
Slov isn't back
He
in the
says, "How
comments.
dare you?"
He has been
Oof.
an imposter.
Oh,
his
well.
If he
entire
wants
life.
to come back on,
Slav is upset
Slav,
with you,
if you want to come
Marcel.
back on, I can log off. I was having fun watching this, so.
We're almost at the end here of what I have for today because the people backstage can see that I have a fourth file thing, but I don't think we're gonna have enough time to go to the fourth one, so that'll be on a part 2 at some point. So there's only one more Truce with Bakura and Galaxy of Fear, I guess is what we have to go. So sorry, I interrupted you, Greyholm. You didn't comment on the German one yet.
The German one, no comment. But it's
Why did
interesting
they-
to
why
note
did they
that they
censor
finally
Savion
dumped
Space? Yeah.
saying Star Wars in German under the Star Wars logo.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
instead of
that's true.
Timothy Zahn, Star Wars Krieg des das letzte Kommando. I can't speak German. I am just saying probably nonsense. But they completely dumped the Krieg der Stern this time, which must look really funny if you bought all 3 German copies and laid them out.
Scott Johnson says that Hungary stole the Weston Games art.
I will go
Really?
do some
Versa.
sleuthing
He
now.
said they hired their own cover artists. Zoltan Boros drew the Cathol Outback. So that's pretty
Oh,
damning
well, I
evidence
guess that's proof enough.
for Hungary there. But here's Truce at Bakura.
Oh,
now
yes.
I actually have the copy on the bottom left. I'm
Yeah,
not sure which
Nice.
I have the
went
copy on the
first.
bottom left as well. I have
So-
never seen the other one
I think
before.
I do as well.
I kind of like
Funny
the Adventure
story.
Continues one.
Yeah,
I
I like the bottom left one. It looks more cooler. It makes me want to actually read it because of the way the title is presented.
Yeah, the Adventure Continues. Yeah, it's nice.
So, really funny story. I was at a second-hand bookstore, and I found 2 versions, the center one and the one on the left, like
And
right
which
next to
did-
each other.
Which did you pick up?
I wound up getting the one on the left because one, it was in slightly better condition. Like they were
Gotcha.
both really good, but I think this one had like one minor defect less.
Right. Yeah. I kind of like
And
how
I
there's
thought,
like
why not?
I kind of like the aqua though, like lining the letters on the middle one. I might have to try to pick the one in the middle up.
I think
Which
the handshake looks really good too. You know,
Yeah.
Oh
it's,
yeah, the handshake. The
it's-
handshake's
The
missing
handshake
from the
looks
one on the
really
bottom
good,
left.
so-
That's true.
that sums up.
Yeah, I like the
title.
original. I like the original, the middle one. I guess if that's the original one. I've always thought the middle one is the original. Is it not?
I think it's the original. I think the one on the bottom left's a reprint.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, I prefer the original just because I like the glove. It gives me, of course, like Darth Vader, Imperial type
Yeah.
vibes.
Yeah.
You know, and
Well, Luke was wearing a glove for most of Return of the Jedi after someone shot his arm in Jabba's
Yeah.
palace.
true that.
I really like
So
on
I'm
the
quite
bottom.
sure it's going to be Luke and Gabriel.
to me, I got the reason why I said Imperial vibes is because it's the Truce of Bakura, so they're coming together. So
Yeah.
that's why I always got it was like the Imperial shaking up,
Yeah, I thought it was Imperials, Rebels, like coming together there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also possible.
I really like the font on the bottom right for Bakura.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that is
it
really
it looks
good.
the font on the bottom right looks like they kind of took it more from like the episode 1 vibes. I don't know how to feel to describe that, but looks like they thought of looks more modern. If I guess that'd be the word I'm looking for.
Oh yeah,
I
you're
can see
right.
that.
It's very
The bottom right
fantastic.
also just looks more clean.
Yeah.
in my opinion.
But I don't like the filter on
Contrast
the
better.
bottom right. I don't like the filter.
I think it actually looks slightly
Yeah.
I don't
better.
like it.
I kind of like the filter, but at the
Because-
same time, I don't because I feel like you can't see the handshake is clear. That's the only bad part about the filter. So it's like it takes
that's
away
a good point.
But the
So
one
I
in the
prefer the
middle just
original.
makes it way too orange, though, I think, for me.
True.
It feels more vibrant though.
Looks like they're shaking hands in front of like a heater or like a.
Yeah.
It looks like an
Yeah.
explosion.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's like they're
I think it's
ceasing.
meant to be an explosion.
Yeah, like they're ceasing explosions. They're coming peace. So
Okay,
that's what-
Scott Johnson says the one in the middle is a hardcover, but I swear I've seen the one in the middle in paperback too.
Same.
It's in paperback.
I
as well.
definitely saw a different version from the bottom left one in paperback. I'm quite sure that's the right one.
Interesting. So it's very interesting looking at all these covers. Marcel,
yeah.
what do you think of these covers? I think you're the only one who hasn't had any comments about the
Yeah.
differences here.
I think that this is one of the first times that I could say that like the Legends cover is not as bad as some of the other Legends covers have been. Like it kind of retains, I think, the original point of the cover. So I like all of them. I like all three.
Well, I mean, this one's the same, so
yeah,
there's just a filter on it, like the Thrawn ones.
yeah,
For the first reprint.
which is cool. Like don't maybe change
Don't
it.
change it exactly.
So,
Yeah, that's true.
It,
Yeah.
Or if you're gonna
it
change
isn't
it,
broken.
better.
Don't fix it.
yeah. If you're
On
gonna
the
change
other
it, make it
hand,
better.
if they were to give us the original Rule of Two cover art, that would be much better. But no, they had to do an ELC with the. Not sure what those sticks were
I bet
meant to
there's
be.
going to be an Essential Legends collection reprint of Bakura eventually.
Oh, for sure. But
It'll be
Bakura
interesting
would
to
be
see
an
what they
essential
do.
book.
But here's the global covers.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
What?
French.
I just want to say, what was Germany doing?
Oh my gosh! I thought the original one was way too orange. What
That's
the
an
heck?
that's an interesting filter.
What happened?
What?
No one
It,
explained to
it
us
looks
what
like
happened.
they're like that meme filter that you see on videos of people who are triggered. That's what that makes me think of.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The French
Well,
one
you
looks
see,
like Obi-Wan's like a
They
grandma.
had Germany clearly had a problem here.
Oh my
Japanese
gosh!
problem here is that they couldn't make it darker because then they'd have nothing on the cover.
On the
So
Russian
they
one-
had to increase the orange.
Oh
The,
yeah.
the Japanese one gives me like Godzilla movie poster vibes or something.
I just
I mean, that
realized
makes
there is a
sense.
Russian Truce at Bakura one.
There is.
There is. I didn't realize I'd found
It
one.
looks actually really, really good. I actually like
I
that
kinda like it.
better. I like
I
that
like-
better than the original.
I like how they made it like a sun. Like you can clearly see. I don't think in the original
Yeah.
one you can tell it's
Yeah.
like a sun, but like here it really looks like.
And it's
a sun.
more
I
wide. You
think
can actually see
we
the
can
whole
agree
picture.
this is the only time the Russian covers are actually decent, let alone
Yeah.
the best.
And also, I noticed
Yeah.
that like the Star Wars logo, it's just like the DVD
Well-
logo, Star Wars.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Well, you got to remember too that the Russian cover that this was the standard for like so many ones ahead, so they had to make this one a Grand Slam.
I
Yeah,
love
exactly.
that one.
Cover looked
Because you guys know that they sampled this on so many other covers that they had to have the OG one going hard. You know?
I've got to find a Russian cover of Darth Bane with Truce at Bakura on it.
Oh god.
Ken, Marcel, what do you guys think?
Yeah, the
That French
cover-
one.
Go
Oh,
ahead. Go ahead.
Oh
Ken.
man,
French is like it's like a documentary.
it looks
cover.
like it looks like it was taken out of an encyclopedia.
Yeah, it looks like a
Yeah.
pamphlet.
It's like a pocketbook, so like I'm not sure if it had the entire story. for the French print.
Okay, the main
And it
question is, which is
It's like
the
Obi-Wan
worst
spilled coffee
cover
in his
here?
beer too.
I'd say the Japanese
Which is the
covers,
worst of these covers?
I'd say the Japanese
French.
one's the worst, which is
The
surprising.
French one's the worst one.
Really?
Japanese one will be alright if it didn't have the blue on it.
Yeah, that
it's
kind of
weird
doesn't
how
go well.
it seems like
Wait,
the hands
seriously,
are,
the
like,
Japanese is the
extended.
worst? Okay.
It's not the worst.
I thought
The
we'd be tied between German and French.
I think the French
German
is the
one
worst.
is burning my eyes.
The
It's
German,
like the whole page got nuked.
the German one is like looking into the sun.
It's like looking into a V2 rocket before it
The,
hits your
the
house.
the German one looks like Han, Leia, and Luke are like dying, like they're gonna die in the story or something. Like they're
Yeah, it
burning
looks
away or something.
Yeah, like Ken Palpatine said, like it got nuked and they've got radiation.
It's like a rest in peace cover to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The French cover is weird. It's really weird.
It also reads
Yeah.
weird. If you, I don't speak or really read that much French other than like just random stuff that I had to learn in school when I was a kid. But like, I think the first line says "above the dead world," and I think they mean like the Death Star.
Oh,
But
that is weird.
above, yeah, it's like au-dessus is like above, and then monde mort is like literally like dead world. So I don't know what.
Maybe we just I guess the
Someone go ask
translation is.
Demogorgon
I guess we could have
Translation
Demigod
issue.
translate the cover.
Yeah, we've got to use Google Translate to try to understand what went wrong for the French there. But
I think a
let me
lot
try
of
that
things
now.
went wrong.
Let me try
I
that
think
now.
now that I'm looking at them all, I think the Russian's the only one that's tolerable. But the
Yeah.
reason I said
Yes.
the Japanese
The
one's
Russian
the
one's actually better.
I would prefer the Russian over the original, honestly.
yeah, I think
It
I would
looks
as well.
so much better.
I think
I
the
would
Russian with the
agree.
gold Star Wars text, like like it's on the movie, it looks good. But I still prefer the original for some reason. I don't know what it is. Something maybe it just they look a little bit grainier on the cover. But I will say the original one, they were very bold for choosing. I like the aqua color. Don't get me wrong, but it's just random that they chose that color. I guess they just maybe they went through a bunch of different colors and they just thought that stood out the best. So
It clashes a bit. Yeah, it's very interesting, and that's why I was saying the Japanese one here is the worst because that dark blue does not go with the rest of it at all.
yeah, like it just
Blue
looks
the
like I
world.
said, just looks like a Godzilla movie poster.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, I Apple translated the French one. It says the moon was habitable, was suspended like a turquoise veiled with clouds. The eternal hand that, and then it ends.
Oh, maybe it's like the first line of the book. I
What-
don't know.
Why would they print the first line of the book on the cover? That's
That's how they.
It's
That's
very-
how they
The
hook
second
you.
one was
you know
above
you're
a
on a
dead
huge
world,
budget
a
if you do
livable
that.
moon was suspended, like a turquoise veiled with clouds. The eternal hand that, and then it ends again.
Also, it's
That's
interesting
strange.
how it's called science fantasy and not science fiction.
Yeah, that's interesting there
Well,
too.
I mean,
Science fantasy.
Star Wars is science fantasy, so
I mean, yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
not
It's all
not
the
even
same.
not even kind of. I will die on this hill. Let's turn this live stream into whether or not Star Wars is science fiction or fantasy. I'm just kidding. But
Yeah,
it's-
I call it sci-fi usually.
it doesn't follow science fiction. Things in science fiction can be explained through science, but the Force is magic. It's basically magic.
That's true, but they tried to explain it with midichlorians.
Yeah,
But I-
but yeah.
But I thought Star Wars was real.
I thought
happened a
it
long
really
time ago in a
happened.
galaxy far,
I
far
think
away.
sci-fi is just
Yeah.
easier to say than sci-fan.
It could be happening. It could be happening now. It could have happened then, and would they say? Is that from somewhere? I forget where that was said. Somebody's like, Star Wars is something that could be happening now. It has happened, or something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
I
Yeah.
don't know, but there's a Tales short comic that's the last story in chronological order, and the opening to the story says a long time from now in a galaxy far, far away. So it's like
Yeah.
set 100,000 ABY. It's called The Storyteller. It's about like a decrepit C-3PO that gets destroyed, and he tells the tales of Han, Luke, and Leia to some aliens who are being oppressed. And the aliens discover Luke's ancient lightsaber, and then they go to fight back against their oppressors. It's a really interesting story.
It's a great story.
It's a great bookend for the.
That sounds depressing. That
Timeline.
sounds very depressing. Actually.
Yeah, it is a bit.
It,
Yeah.
it is and it isn't. I mean, like it's kind of like
But it
inspiring hope for a new era.
But it
Oh.
also explains where C-3PO is not in Legacy. But R2D2
I just feel
is
lonely for him. I must feel lonely for C-3PO. Just like, dang, he's lost his, he has nobody.
Yeah, R2D2.
I haven't read that story though, so I don't know.
R2D2 is in Legacy, but C-3PO isn't, and so this is set way later. It explains that like C-3PO's been like stranded on this world, and he's only a torso. But when he's awakened, he like tells the stories of his friends, which like I think that's a nice ending. I think it's pretty cool. But yeah,
I think it sounds sad, but it sounds like a really good ending because obviously
I read the summary in the chronology. It was great.
Yeah,
I'm interested in that story though.
Is it in Tales issue number 17?
It might be. I know it's in either it's in 17 to 20 because I just read that graphic novel, which is
Gotcha.
fifth volume that collects 17 to 20, and it was in one of those.
It is in Tales 19.
Well, I'm gonna have to be heading out pretty soon, so I figured we'd end on Truce of Bakura. Does anyone have any final thoughts? And I'd love to have you guys back to look at Galaxy of Fear and the Han Solo Brian Daly trilogy and the Han Solo AC Crispin trilogy next time. And then part 3 will be New Jedi Order.
Ooh, goody.
Oh,
sure.
oh boy.
Definitely.
Yeah, of course.
You know
So
what?
hopefully you guys will return.
I think instead of doing Kenobi, I think this has really motivated me to read the entirety of Truce of Bakura tomorrow, just so I can upload a video reviewing Truce of Bakura.
And then you've gotta in the video you've gotta say that the Russian covers are the best.
Yes, I need to have
trilogy covers.
Oh yeah, I need to have like the thumbnails as just
As
all
of
the
the
Truce of Bakura.
Russian, all of the Russian Truce of Bakura trilogy.
By the way, I checked the Russian Path of Destruction, and I am sad to say that it looks the same as every other Path of Destruction. Literally no difference for every Path of Destruction except one looking a bit darker.
Maybe we stole their version.
You never know.
Yeah.
Nah, we didn't. The artist is American.
Come on, we've gotta find no, I'm gonna Photoshop later this evening. I'm gonna Photoshop Dawn of the Jedi cover.
Yes!
Yeah,
Send that to me.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Oh man.
I'll even make a
You know what?
video.
That should be the thumbnail of this video. Probably should just be Truce of Bakura.
I'm gonna make a video. I'm gonna edit every Star Wars book to have the Russian cover with Truce of Bakura over it, and make
For sure.
a video with them all.
Do it. For sure, do it.
Yeah,
I'm supporting it.
Absolutely.
Any last comments about these amazing covers? I know Marcel might want to talk about the Chewbacca cover one more time.
It is, in fact, the best Star Wars cover out of any cover that was ever made.
Wow.
That's my final word on it.
You might be right.
I think I can speak for all Russians when I say that the Truce of Bakura is just the greatest book to ever exist.
All Russians agree with you, definitely.
That's their standard for Star Wars, I think.
In all of science fantasy.
Absolutely. Every book, period. What if every Russian book has Truce of Bakura on the top of it?
All the Star Trek books just have Truce of Bakura.
They have like reprints of like Shakespearean plays with Truce of Bakura printed on it. Oh, we lost Greyholm.
Uh-oh.
But and any last thoughts?
I think the Russians got to him.
Wrap up here.
Yeah, the KGB took him away.
The Russians got to him. Yeah. So, any final thoughts about these covers before we wrap up here?
I'll just say I appreciate you for having me on, and I just hope that everybody who watched and enjoyed us talking about all these covers, and I hope that anybody who has these alternate covers, I hope that you share them on a video or talk about why you love them and stuff like that, because I'm sure we all would love to hear why you love them.
Yeah, and pictures are cool, but it's really cool to see paperbacks or hardcovers in like a video so that you can see like I want to see the back covers of these books. I want to see the spines. It would be really cool to see like reviews of the alternate covers.
Brendan, you know what you need to do when you make that cover for
What's that?
Into the Void, you should change the title. Make it Dawn of the Truce into Bakura. That's what you should name it.
Yes, I will work on that. Well, I guess I'd have to understand Russian, but I'll auto translate that into Russian. So thank you all for joining us, and thanks to Slov, our fallen panelist, for joining at the front. And thank you very much to Marcel for filling in for him.
It was my pleasure to fill in for Slov.
And of course, thank you to Ken Palpatine, Liam, Only Good Games, and Greyholm. All of you are awesome. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you guys back here for part 3.
For sure.
Absolutely.
See you guys later.
It was a pleasure.
Definitely.
This was fun.
See you.
May the force be with you.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Always.
And also with you.
I've got a good feeling about this.
Indeed.